So sometimes we'll have a report where the report will have blank rows within it, and most of Excel's features work best when our data is contiguous, meaning that all the cells are touching each other. So when we have a situation where we have blank rows in there, then we can't necessarily filter it as effectively. Notice in this case, if I were to turn on the filter feature, if row 7 were blank, I would only be able to see a single vendor. It's because the filtering stops whenever it encounters a blank row at the bottom of the list. So if we wish to reset the list and eliminate the blank rows, what we first need to do is click the corner of the worksheet before we turn on the filter feature. So we want to select the entire worksheet. By clicking in the corner, it's just an easy way to select the entire worksheet as opposed to having to select the list manually. Step 2, we can go to the data menu. Step 3, we can click the filter command. That turns on our filter arrows. Now step 4 is a trick that we can do in Excel 2010 and later. We can type a single parentheses in that space there. When we do, it will select the choice for blanks. Now where you will get tripped up here is if you happen to have data in that column that has parentheses within the data, then you'll also see all the items that have parentheses in them. But most lists, particularly if you were to pick a column of numbers, it's not going to have parentheses within it. And so the shortcut there is to type a left parenthesis, or you could also do a right parenthesis in that search box in Excel 2010 and later. That collapses the list down, chooses just blanks for you. We then click OK. Step 7 then shows us a fast way that we can delete rows. We can select the rows on the worksheet frame, hold down the Control key and tap the minus sign. That gives us a faster way to delete. We could also right-click on the row and choose delete there as well if keyboard shortcuts are kind of like passwords and hard to keep top of mind all the time. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to insert some blank rows within this data here. Alright, thought I could get away with that. Alright, we'll do it the slow way then. So right now I am making my data harder to work with. So we really don't want to ever have blank rows within our data. If we need white space, we want to change the row heights to give that appearance that we skipped a row. But we really want to keep all the cells contiguous. So let's just see what happens if we were to try to go filter this list here. If we went to the filter command, turned on the arrows here, went to region, notice there's only one region. If we went to city, we'd only see that single city. That is because when we filter, the filtering ends whenever Excel encounters a blank row there. So anything below the blank row isn't seen by the filter feature. And so that's part of why we need to keep our data contiguous. So to make it contiguous here, what we'll do is click on the corner of the worksheet. So right there in the corner, that selects all the cells. Then on our data menu, we can then go to the filter command. Because we selected the broader area, notice now we get to see all the regions and all the cities, all the vendors, and so on. So I can go to any column here. I could go to the region column, for instance. The search box was added in Excel 2010. So if you're still using Excel 2007, you'll need to turn off Select All and manually go down and choose blanks. But if you are using a newer version of Excel, you can instead just put an open parenthesis in that box. Notice it collapses the list down, and then we can click OK. So now what we're seeing on the screen are just the blank rows as evidenced by the blue row numbers. So we come along, we select those. We can hold down the Control key and tap the minus sign. That would delete them. I'm going to undo that back though and show you that we could also right-click and then choose Delete Row. That would be a second way to eliminate that data. We'll undo it again. The third way that you might use is on the Home menu, click the Delete command. So if you click to delete, that too would delete the rows. So now when we return back to the data menu and then turn off the filter command, notice now the data is all now contiguous And so there is our entire list.